Hi, Weirdos. Welcome back to Keep It Weird, the podcast for all things strange and unusual, mystical and magical, flirty and fantastic, and everything in between. This is a special episode. It's essentially your supplemental learning materials for last week's episode, Homework for Witches. These are our listener divination readings. This was such a cool experiment. Each of us, separately and using different divination materials, answered questions for our listeners. Questions like, what will my future husband do for a living? And will I find a new apartment? I cast some runes and performed some bibliomancy for each question. Lauren pulled a tarot card, and our resident witch, Laura Lareau, aka Leaves and Lore on Instagram, used her oracle deck to do a 3-card spread for each of the questions. We were shook, as you can probably tell from the artwork from this episode. We were shook to see how each and every reading was almost identical to each other, despite working separately and with totally different materials. Please enjoy this special add-on episode, and a huge thank you to Sasha, Jared, Lilo, and Elise for sending in your questions. We do want to continue doing this. We want to continue doing divination readings for our listeners, so if you're ever interested in getting one for yourself, head over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/keepitweirdpodcast and sign up to join. Okay, enough of me. Enjoy the show. Well, shall we do some readings for our listeners?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we took questions from you, personal questions that you wanted guidance or answers to. Our first question, and I'll give you a quick little thing on how I did my reading. So for each of mine, I did a simple 3-rune cast. The cast was past, present, and future. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that rune number 1 represents your past and rune number 3 represents your future. Rune number 1 could represent something from your past that helps you today. As with a lot of divination, each symbol or each card does represent something, but again, it's the reader's intuition that usually gives the insights. So first up, let's go with Elise, because this question I fucking loved. Elise wanted to know what her future husband will do for a living.
I loved this.
So good.
Honestly, good question.
Future mystery man. You gotta know he's got a J-O-B.
He's got a J-O-B, bitch. And we're going to find out what it is.
Yeah.
So, Elise, I did a rune reading for you. I also did a bibliomancy for everyone as well, because they're very quick, and I can just show you the page.
I'm not familiar with bibliomancy.
Oh,
you
girl.
guys have talked about it on the show before.
We're going to have to do that the next time you're on. It is so, sometimes it's kind of funny and like, well, that was a very general answer that sort of made no sense. But a lot of the time, it's great.
It's so much fun.
Okay. I love it.
Elise. And I did this because you can't see my tiny runes. So I just wrote out your reading, essentially.
So good.
So you've got your rune reading. And this is why I'm glad that I did the bibliomancy as well, because it wasn't super specific. I couldn't draw any parallels to professions in it. The things that stood out, though, to me were this first symbol, Uruz. This one here. We're going this way. So it's this one. That's Uruz.
Okay.
That's a strong masculine energy. So marrying a man does seem in line here. Ewaz, which is the second symbol that looks like an M, tells me that he's not going to be the usual type that you go for, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. Now,
change it up.
Change it up, girl. Now, Kinaz, which is the last symbol, which looks like a V, that's all about your inner light and inner wisdom, which was, I was like, whatever, okay, who cares? But then I did a bibliomancy with the acid book, which, to remind everyone, is Be Here Now by Ram Dass. The reason I call it the acid book is because he was on a lot of acid when he wrote it. So I did a bibliomancy with the acid book. And what I found is that you will marry A potter who does yoga.
Oh boy.
There he is.
Wow. A potter who does
Yep.
yoga. I mean, so an artist.
Possibly an artist.
An artist at work and a work of art, getting into some yoga positions. I
Lucky
am
girl.
here for
He's going
it.
to be
And maybe it's not
flexible.
your usual type.
He's going to be strong.
We like it.
He's going to work with his hands. Maybe that's what pottery means. I don't know.
Yeah, because that could just be his hobbies.
Could just be his hobbies.
He might be an artist, but
Yeah.
like, that could just be
Yeah.
hobbies.
I might not have gotten...
True.
You know, it does say chopping wood and carrying water. Gosh, he's got a busy life is the thing. He's a busy man. Okay.
So very strong.
Also, I love like
Very
the
strong
chopping
man.
wood and carrying water. And you were saying like masculine, strong. Like this is lining up.
And what really stood out to me is he's not your type, but you should go for it. Let's see who's going to go next. Laura.
That's really great. I really wanted to go next because I have some things that kind of correlate to yours.
Yeah.
And we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I also did a 3-card pull of past, present, future.
Look at us.
I'm a terrible person
Look at
because I
us.
literally was like, I bet they're not going to do a 3-card pull because that would take too much time. And I only did 1 tarot, and I'm sorry I ruined the entire episode. Love you both so much.
There were 4 people, so it was like, I'm not going to do an entire tree for 4 people. No, I have 3-card pull.
No.
That's all I had time for. But yes, that is also the simplest, I feel like, divination. It's just past, present, future, 3 cards, 3 runes. So coincidence or just the most common reading. I prefer coincidence.
Yeah, I prefer it's our hive mind.
Yes.
Go on.
So for your past card, I pulled She Who Laughs. And I'll describe this for the listener. You've got kind of like a dark-haired, pale-skinned, elven fairy woman with just like, I don't know, kind of a wood motif going on.
Yeah.
But she kind of represents laughing from trauma. Like, laughter is the best medicine. I'm not saying, Elise, you have any trauma that you're laughing at or something like that. But honestly, what I took this as is, Elise, you've probably been attracted to people in the past who that can make you laugh. You're probably someone who goes after a guy with a good sense of humor. I mean, same. So I get it. You understand the value of someone who can make you laugh. And while it probably helped you out of whatever situations you were coming from back in your past, you might need to look for a partner that's a little more serious. And I'm not saying completely humorless, but that we'll get to my second card I pulled, which was the King of the Darkwood Elves. This is your present state. And so that's why I say, like, someone that you probably went for before is someone who could make you laugh. This is a very serious dude. Someone who maybe you didn't go for in the past. Maybe it's time to start looking at guys who, are a little more earnest, take themselves a little more seriously. Yeah. I called him someone who respects authority and follows order. The downside to the person in this card, they can sometimes seem a little cold and a little stern on the surface, but the opportunity is here to create a very strong and very healthy relationship with someone who is wise and has a lot of can offer you a lot of growth. Someone who can take care of you.
I love that.
Someone who takes care of themselves, has their house in order, and can take care of you. So that's when Ashley.
There was a point in my life where I had to stop dating boys who slept on a mattress on the floor. Okay,
you have to stop dating boys. You start dating men.
Eventually.
Well, and that's why I thought it was kind of funny that you said maybe you're going for someone you don't normally go to, because your card suggests one thing. Now you're looking for something different. The third card I pulled for you is the Yule Singer. You've got this fair skin, bright, bubbly,
beautiful,
kind of holiday looking fairy.
A little bit midsummer.
She represents rebirth and feasting and joy, but this is your future. What I took this as, if you do pursue someone who's a little more serious, someone who can help you grow, You find that person and you put in the work with being with them. The Yule singer promises transformation. She comes to sing songs of your deepest self, calling to you a light within your soul. She offers new friendships, easy connections, and an end to the darkness. All that being said, I do definitely see the Darkwood elf being a representation of your future partner. Maybe he's your husband. Maybe he's the man that helps you grow into someone who's ready for marriage, and that's what the Yule Singer is bringing. But you're definitely, your next partner, you're probably definitely looking for some kind of authority figure. So I'm thinking serious job. Maybe not the most fun or flashy, but like maybe an accountant, or the cards say he has a lot of wisdom to offer. So maybe a professor.
Oh, sexy.
I know, right?
Well, Lauren, what did you get? Because maybe we have something very specific.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have the exact job, but boy, oh boy, does it go along with everything that you both said, which I am loving. And this is what I was hoping for. So, Elise, for you, I pulled the Knight of Swords. And it is the Meryl character of Catherine from Henry V, which I have never seen. See, sometimes you get them. But look how great she looks, the Knight of Swords. But again, this deck, as Meryl and fun as it is, it does go along with, every classic tarot meaning that we know. So for the Knight of Swords, and I drew it upright. And I just did a 1-card draw for tarot. I didn't do all 3 because I thought that would take me way too long to get through each reading. So I just did 1 card per question. So Elise, for Knight of Swords and upright, that means ambition, action-oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking. Good on the fly, like good on their feet, whatever they're thrown, they can deal with. They're very ambitious. They are successful. The Knight of Swords typically on classic cards shows a knight dressed in armor, which honestly, like Meryl was giving that energy too. So let's give it to her. But they are charging ahead with great energy on a powerful white horse. And the knight's sword is held high, a symbol of dedication to his purpose and mission. The white horse symbolizes the purity of the intellectual energy. Very smart.
Very wise.
That motivates the knight. In the background, you see storm clouds are beginning to form and trees are bending in the strong winds, but the wind does not stop the knight. There is only determination. He heads directly into it and is always eager to complete his mission. So I am reading that as you are getting somebody very ambitious, no matter what happens to them in their career. Because I'm like, just think of every situation. Like maybe they got laid off, maybe, a business venture didn't work out. They're not somebody that's just going to give up and be
they're
like,
not a slacker.
Help me. Like maybe become a mooch. Yeah. I think they're always going to be, they're working. They have drive. They're going for the next thing.
As a timing card, the Knight of Swords is a very fast time. So it might be someone that you're meeting very soon.
Yeah.
Right. This person could pop up like in a month.
I always see that card
in
as
a week.
Like 1 foot out the door already. So yeah, no, that's a very good sign that time-wise, this is
what if it's somebody?
It could also be someone you know already. So if we are describing a person you know, go for it, girl.
A masculine Potter accountant, ambitious guy.
Definitely someone
who works with his hands.
Someone who knows how to get things done. No more boys
Elise,
for you,
Elise.
Elise. Only men.
Yes.
No. Only men from here on out, girl.
Oh, man. I love this. I feel like all of our readings definitely were saying like, oh, Elise, like you don't even worry. Like there's a guy who's got it together. Come for you.
Okay, next question. I think we should do Jared. I want to do Jared next. Jared asked if there was a positive, life-changing event coming his way. This first symbol, actually a lot of this reading, motivation. Motivation was in the past placement in my cards. That tells me that possibly you've been suffering from a lack of motivation recently, which may have you feeling stale or stagnant or completely stuck. And the present placement is Yera, which is these 2 little arrows pointing two different ways. It's all about putting in the work to harvest the seeds that you have planted. Basically, everything takes work and nothing is just going to come to you. But if you've been putting work towards something, it's definitely going to pay off. If you haven't been putting work towards something and you're just sort of like waiting for something to happen, it's not going to happen. You have to work towards it. The future placement, Othala, which is this one right here, that's actually a really like important rune to me right now, because it actually was a part of my very first rune reading for myself. And it's really special to me because it's something I recently had to like identify and work on, and the improvements that it made to my life already are like unbelievable. That rune is all about being able to let go of things that no longer or maybe never have served you in your life, whether that's an idea or a belief or a relationship that keep you stuck and not growing. So I'm thinking maybe there is a belief that you have about yourself or about the world that someone else has imposed on you, and it's time to find whatever that is and let it go so you can watch your life actually transform.
Got some real soul searching.
Yeah.
Got some soul searching to do.
Mm-hmm.
As for your
sure.
bibliomancy, I landed on a crazy fucking page. Look at
Ooh,
that.
I'm excited.
What even fucking
hello?
is that? This
What
this is all
happened?
about letting go through meditation.
Oh.
Specifically saying, in order to extricate yourself from the attachment of your own thoughts, hello, that's exactly what the rune reading said, through learning to let go with the flow, or learning to go with the flow and let go through meditation. I think maybe, again, there's a thought or idea about yourself that you need to, it's just not serving you anymore. So once you kind of meditate your way through, or and meditation doesn't have to be sitting in a room like quietly. Meditation can be like running, or like I said, or putting on makeup. That's when I meditate every day.
Sure.
Meditate putting on makeup means I always have a full face of makeup. I always look good and I always feel good. But finding through meditation what that thing is that's just not helping you out anymore.
I love that.
Love. I love how connected that all was.
Can I go next, just since I have the three, and I feel like these really directly correspond with some of yours?
Yeah, Laura,
okay,
go next.
Yeah, thank you. So, with my 3-card, past, present, future, the first card I pulled for you, Jared, was the Elf Queen.
Love her.
Very royal, majestic, blonde with a crown of silver. She represents introverted burden and responsibility, but she goes on to say, you have responsibilities that have accumulated to the point you no longer feel free. You've dimmed your own bright light, and the world longs for you to shine once again. And one by one, I invite you to take these burdens, anything that feels heavy, whose energy does not come from love, but from fear, any demands and expectations that no longer meet your needs, release them.
Oh.
Release them with love.
That's
insane.
wild how much. That is
Very
exactly what
first
Ashley
card.
just said. That's insane.
There is no rejection in this gesture, but a reestablishing of your own boundaries. This kind of seems like something you already knew, since this is in your past. This might be something you're coming out of. Maybe it's something like, we're just reaffirming. Sorry to put you on blast, but when you write into a podcast, like, we're gonna put your business out there. So
for it.
I hope you're doing okay. But like, it sounds like you're coming from a place where you've been struggling a little bit, and I hope you're doing okay, because the next card, honestly, it's one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's the Golden Unicorn, and yes, that is as special as it sounds.
I would hope so.
This is where you are right now. You're coming out of that place of struggle, and when this card comes for you, it's showing you the path to possibly a person, advisor, or mentor who will assist you through challenges that you are currently facing. It's a beacon of hope, for with the right guidance, what seems to be impossible can be achieved. There is now protective energy around you because of this Golden Unicorn. You are safe to leave your current circumstances and create a new path free of judgment. Love that card.
I love that card too.
It is a good card, and it's so pretty.
I know, right? For the listeners, it is. I mean,
it's a golden unicorn.
It's a
Gorgeous.
rearing unicorn.
It's a golden unicorn.
Golden,
it's stunning. We're here for
flowing
it.
mane, and all that's great. All that is going to help you. What I picked for your future, I'll just preface, it sounds like you're going to need some help. It sounds like you could need the help of the golden unicorn, because it seems as this protector comes, it's coming at the right time because something big is coming. This card is the Queen of the Darkwood Elves, and she doesn't specify what's coming, but when she arrives in a reading, she says you're warned. You're forewarned, and in truth, you can be forearmed. There's no cause to be scared or frightened or anxious because this card indicates that you have time to prepare, to grow stronger, and meet whatever's coming head on. And with the help of that golden unicorn, you can minimize the impact of whatever challenges are coming. So you're asking for something positive, and while this does sound a little... well, this sounds like a challenge. This sounds like an obstacle coming your way. What's positive about it is it sounds like you are going to have the support of your friends or the support of a mentor or someone close to you. Someone will help you through this. And that in itself, I think, is very positive.
Yeah, and also sometimes really, really, really amazing things come directly after something extremely challenging.
Absolutely. I find that constantly.
I was going to say that Tower card in tarot everyone sees is a really bad sign because it means everything's coming crumbling down around you. But what I take from it is like that it was never built, the tower was never built on a solid foundation. So it's coming down because something else has to come, because it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Something else has to come in its place.
Right.
So
there was a crack in the foundation. Yeah.
And honestly, in all things in life, you don't run from adversity.
Yeah.
You should meet it head on. And it sounds like, Jared, I think you're going to be able to meet it head on just fine.
Seems like it so far.
Yeah.
Will Lauren change our minds?
You got the tower for us, Lauren?
No, but now that kind of would have been perfect. That really would have fit. But actually, I think this one really fits too. It is the Page of Cups, and it is Jill Davis from Manhattan.
Love
is
it.
The character of Meryl Streep. We have to say that. But Page of Cups, I pulled reversed.
Oh.
And Page of Cups reversal meaning is that you are undergoing a block. That's why listening to you two, I was like, what is happening? Page of Cups reversed means you are undergoing a block, usually in your creativity. There are things in your life, maybe projects that you find interesting, but you are seeming to do them for other reasons than for the joy of it. You used to do things for joy, but currently you are just kind of pushing through and doing what you have to do, checking boxes, maybe doing it for money, for notoriety, something else, which, hey, we've all been there, absolutely. A reversed Page of Cups could indicate that you should remember the joy that your projects bring you or brought you in the first place to reclaim your imaginative spirit. It's still in there, but it's being a little suppressed right now. And another Page of Cups reversal meaning that is that it can symbolize a troubled person who is really going through it. It's kind of different levels. It's like, it could be a block in your career, a block in finances, but it can, when you get to the darker side of it, it can mean that maybe there is addiction or heartbreak, or you're afraid of reality, whether it's emotional, financial illness, whatever it is. You are finding the issues difficult to face. You're not quite ready to face them. You have to, but you have been hiding away because of the block. And if you keep on this road, it could lead to a dangerous place, i.e. some kind of addiction. This card has gotten pulled with people who have, maybe they end up going to abuse of alcohol or drugs because they are just trying to escape reality. It's hiding away from what actually is happening. But when you look at the Page of Cups on the flip side, it is somebody coming out of the darkness. So it's always like you just went through something and now you are born anew, and this is like when you find yourself again and get out there. So I kind of like, as we were discussing earlier, saying the upright and reversal of the cards, because I think this isn't just a death sentence. This isn't saying,
give up.
yeah, everything's terrible. You're absolutely right. Like, good luck. No, I think it's saying I think that's confirming what, Jared, you're probably feeling, or you wouldn't have asked this question, in my opinion, is we see you where I think all of our cards have kind of validated you, that you are going through it. And like Laura said, I think you do have a support system that can pull you out of it. Maybe it could also be, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be a counselor, it could be a therapist, it could be so many things. You are going to get through this. And I think this is going to be something that shapes you and changes you coming your way very soon. And you might just be in the darkest point right now. And I think you're just extremely vulnerable right now, but there is that imaginative, creative spirit in there that just needs to come forth. And I think it's going to help.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our readings mentioned that there was some sort of like block or something holding you back, and like there was no like specificity in that. And I think that sometimes we don't even know what it is. Like, it does take a lot of like introspection to figure out what is it that is stopping me from XYZ. And that's where things like meditation, or like maybe getting more creative again for the fun of it, not for the, monetary gain of it or whatever, can help you figure out what that block is. And then once you know what it is, then you know how to attack it. Then you know how to like...
Exactly. Then you can come at the situation. Yeah.
I want to repeat to really reestablish those boundaries.
Yeah.
It does sound like, Jared, I just hope you're doing
Me too.
well.
I love Jared.
Like, I know you wanted some good news.
Me too.
And I think there is good in there.
I think there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Totally.
Sure.
And honestly, like, tarot sometimes makes it sound so much worse than it actually is. So maybe Jared's going to stub his toe.
Literally.
And this is just the cards telling you to watch out
those toes,
for
bud.
that table corner, because it'll get you. And it'll ruin your day.
It's really going to set you back. I'll tell you that much. We're going to move on to Lilo. Lilo's question to us. Lilo said she needs to sell her apartment and find a new place to live. And Lilo wanted to know, will I find an apartment that I can afford to live in by myself? We have more details. You guys don't need more details. She basically wants to know if she's going to find an apartment. I'm going to go first.
Sounds good.
Lilo. The reason I sound like this is because Laura and I spoke very briefly before even Lauren got on the call, and she was like, did you have any readings that like weren't super positive? And I was like, yeah, one. And she was like, was it Lilo? And I was like,
and then I was just like, we'll save it. But I like how we both didn't really have something super positive for Jared, but like that reading itself for Jared seemed very positive.
Oh yeah, like everything is going
but
to...
But like while we were talking about it, I was like, oh,
it felt dark, but there was still like hope around it. Yeah.
Lilo, this was your runic reading. Awaz is your first symbol. That's the one that looks like a W. And it was reversed because actually technically it's an M. But in your case, it was upside down. This indicates a sudden or unwanted change in your life, which shook me up because I actually know what's going on. I have a little context of what's going on in Lilo's life. This is a sudden or unwanted change, something very unbalanced that you had to make some adjustments on, and you had to use your strengths to get through that thing, and you did, and I'm very proud of you. The second symbol, this one in the middle, Laguz. Laguz is an extremely emotional rune, and it's very feminine energy. Like it's a huge feminine energy card. Feminine energy is often equated to emotions. I wonder why. So that rune is essentially telling you that your inner voice, your gut, is right, and you need to listen to it. Do not overthink it. Your innermost self knows what is truly right for you. You're going to feel it in your fucking bones, and don't fight against that because it's your feminine energy is strong. Follow it. Unfortunately, when it comes to your future reading, we got Fei Hu. reversed, which is this kind of Blair Witchy symbol here. Fehu reversed is a rune of frustration and quitting. Giving up. But as with any reading, the future placement does not mean that that is your inevitable future. It just means that that is one outcome. And I think what the runes are telling you is to listen to your inner voice. Your innermost voice and your feelings, your gut feeling is not going to steer you wrong. As long as you are in tune with it. When I did bibliomancy, I thought this was very interesting. I landed on a page that has huge block letters at the top that says return to your roots. It's a large root right at the top. Return to your roots. And it stood out to me immediately. So if that resonates with you at all, maybe you felt a pull to move home, or roots could be the place that you felt the most grounded, not necessarily your birth home. A lot of the times our hometown is not what we consider our home. So like returning to your roots, returning to a place where you feel grounded and safe is what you need to do. Whether that's a new apartment in a city or possibly moving to a place you told yourself you'd never move back to. Hello, Illinois. Going back to somewhere safe and grounded can like change your life. Wow. Laura, what about you?
Okay, so like I'm getting goosebumps over here.
Oh boy.
When I did your reading last night, I got really kind of like ill afterwards. Don't worry, it's not like that bad or anything like that, but I was feeling this very strong pull, and I actually like considered maybe re-rolling it because I felt really distracted and a little lightheaded, and I had to stop. I did the rest of the readings this afternoon, and the reading didn't really make sense to me. I had to sleep on it, and I'm really glad I didn't re-pull it because holy hell. This is going to be fun. Okay, so the first card I pulled for you was the Hedge Witch.
Love her.
And this I know.
Yeah, she is
for
a
the
whole
listeners,
vibe.
She's got like a nice smoky eye. She's got this black hair.
I see like ravens.
I mean, oh yeah. For anybody who knows hedge witches, they're witches based in the home that deal a little bit with herbalism. And this card tells you to kind of like reflect on your health, like nutrition, which seemed really, really odd. I don't know what your circumstances are that you need to move, but this card being in your past, whether your well-being was in jeopardy, whether you maybe had a health scare or whatever, something was not quite right. I think this is what's causing you to have to move. And it's not a want. It's not like I want a bigger house or like a prettier view. It's a necessity for your well-being and for your health. You need to get out of whatever situation you're in. This is your past. This is where you're coming from. And your second card, your present, you got the Life Bringer. This is establishment and growth and fulfillment. Now is the time for new ideas and new projects. It's a sense of easy and organic flow. Your world is changing and it's a good thing. Your ambitions and your dreams, you need to support them to become more established and make their presence strong and unshakable. Your accomplishments are being acknowledged. And like Lilo, you've done good work. Take your flowers. Maybe now's the time to ask for a little more money at work or try to negotiate a lower price on a new apartment. People see your value and are willing to give you what you deserve. That's what this card is. It is a very good present circumstance.
We like to see it.
But I will say, your next card, your future card, just like Ashley's third rune, gave me a little pause because we pulled the Trickster.
Oh, geez.
Beware the Trickster. While this could be warning against a possible scam or maybe like bad future roommates, just while you're looking, just be wary. I don't see why you shouldn't be able to find the place that you're looking for, especially with this Lifebringer card being your present state. But the Trickster, it's not saying that you've been tricked. It's just asking you to keep an eye out and be careful. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Another way to look at the Trickster too is maybe you're being dishonest with yourself. Maybe you're trying to trick yourself into believing something or going along with something because it seems like an easy fit right now. And like it's saying stay true to yourself. If you need to lie about certain things or compromise too much to get a new place, it's not the right place for you. Whether someone's going to trick you, or honestly, I think it's more of a you need to stay true to yourself and listen to your gut. Kind of what Ashley
I got
said.
that one a lot, where it's like, no, like really, like listen to what your gut is telling you. I know, like, for example, when I was like, I need to move closer to home, I kept saying, like, I'm not moving back to Illinois. I can't move back to Illinois. I had all these hangups about moving back to Illinois. And when I finally sat down and I was like, what are the hangups? Are they real? Are they in my head? And I realized that they were literally all bullshit. And once I finally...
You were being tricked. Yeah.
I was like tricking myself into thinking that like moving back to Illinois meant X, Y, Z in my life. And it didn't mean any of those things. So yeah, sometimes when you convince yourself that this is what you need or want or should do, but if you like step back, you might realize that like, oh, actually, this could be better for me right now, and I can always try that in the future if I want to.
Well, and with the trickster showing up in correlation to that third rune that was all about stabilizing yourself, and then your what is it?
The bibliomancy, yeah.
Bibliomancy, about returning to your roots. It really does sound like, maybe you might be, someone outside yourself, or maybe yourself, are trying to trick you into thinking that you need a certain thing or you want a certain thing, and really deep down in your gut, you know you don't.
Yeah.
Or you know what's right for you. Listen to yourself.
What about you, Lauren? Do you have any insights?
So, Lilo, I drew a card that also made me feel a little sad inside. I drew the 10 of Swords. Or it is Rachel Samstat from Heartburn is Meryl. We always have to say the Meryl Streep card, which again, was something I didn't know of, but it has our, I don't know, but it's got the 10 swords and the heart, the two people,
body of work.
Yeah, she's prolific. Okay,
looks like, ooh, Jack Nicholson. It's very clear that this cartoon is Jack Nicholson. So that's it. I was not looking at him at all. I was only staring at Meryl and the swords, but it is very clearly Jack Nicholson. 10 of Swords. So I drew it on the reverse when it came out in my reading. So when we see any version of the 10 of Swords, it is a powerful feeling card. I also drew it recently in one of my spreads, and I had a lot of feelings about it because I was already going through some hard things. But whether reversed or upright, the card signals the finality of defeat. And there's no way to avoid the tragedy, the trauma, whatever you're going through in life. It has been happening for a long time, over a long course of events. It's a long time coming is essentially what this card is saying. And you are either at rock bottom. I hate to use that term, but usually it is saying you are at the bottom and you are maybe about to come out. Or if you're not able to admit that you're at the bottom, you may still have a longer journey to go. With the reversal also comes a recognition that there is no more left for you to give. And with that comes the release that things can only get better and the cycle can start anew, but you have to initiate that. It is all up to you. Otherwise, you will just kind of sit in a state of darkness. There's an opportunity being presented to correct what has hurt you, but you have to make the effort to climb out yourself. Something terrible has happened to you, usually is what this card is indicating, but everyone has a part in the responsibility. There were probably outside sources, but you also have to admit things that you potentially did wrong, that you are holding yourself back from. Which I don't know the entire situation, but in love, this can mean healing from past relationships, putting a relationship back together, or leaving altogether a relationship that you should not be in, or maybe you just left a relationship and that is part of trying to get out. And so basically the path to healing from past stresses is just getting started and seeing what is out there, but avoiding things that have pulled you down before. So I did think that was interesting with the whole trickster thing, and you talking about not believing something that's coming at you, because I feel like what comes with the Ten of Swords is, listen, you are at this dark place and it's easy to commiserate with others and be pulled even deeper into darkness and believe, okay, I should be, moving in with you, living with you, or being pulled back into a living situation maybe that didn't serve you. And don't believe the trickster. Don't go to bad habits once again, even though those habits can feel good and comfortable, because it's going to hold you down. Like there's nothing left good in that situation. You have to start fresh. You have to start new. That's hard. We're not sitting here preaching saying like, get to it. That is challenging. That is hard, but sometimes you have to start fresh and you have to start the climb out. And there may be things that you've been doing for a long time that just, you got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. I
Oof,
cannot
my Ten of
believe
Swords right
that all these readings, we still have one more. We have one more reading, but I can't believe how, like, all of
Right.
our readings have been so similar for each person. That's kind of blowing my mind.
It's so wild.
Let's go move on to our final reading for
Ending
this
on a
evening.
positive note.
Ending on a
hopefully.
positive note. Sasha wants to know, when romantic love will happen. How do I ready my life or prepare for that love? Sasha, don't you worry. I actually, very much so love Sasha. She's been a listener since the fucking beginning.
Oh my gosh,
She's
yeah.
incredible.
Oh my God, yay!
She's an OG. She's great.
Like Lilo, like actually all of our listeners that send in questions, I do know a little bit about their life, and I do love this reading for Sasha. So
That's so sweet. I love that.
Sasha, okay, this is your runic reading right here. I was Berkano Gebo. So the very first symbol I was, which is this like weird zigzaggy up front, basically saying like you've approached relationships the correct way and you are ready, but your home life needs to be more stable before you can fully give yourself to another person. Your focus on nurturing other people is an amazing, wonderful, beautiful quality, but self-care is just as important. So remember to fill your own cup. So when this person comes into your life, and they will, you are going to be ready to give and receive love. That's essentially all that this reading was saying. It was very clear. There's not a lot of hidden meanings here. Your bibliomancy reading as well
I love that.
was all about
You see
love.
me just getting excited? Oh my gosh. This has been so cool.
Your bibliomancy reading, Sasha, you're going to fucking love this, was all about love, and it was page 69.
Nice.
Nice.
Which I know she's
All
going to get a
about
kick
love.
out of.
Let's get it. Oh,
It's
Who
coming
wouldn't?
to
We
you.
love it.
It's coming to you in a big way, but get your house in order so that you're fully prepared for it, because something's going on, whether that's like your literal like house, as in like your family's taking up too much of your time, or something's going on at home that's going to be too distracting to like give yourself to a new relationship. Sort it out so that you're just like ready to jump in.
Oh my God.
Very cool.
Did we do it again?
Do you want to hear
Yeah.
almost the exact same thing?
Hell yeah.
Okay, like it kind of
Everyone's gonna
sounds like
think
we're
we're
making this
lying
all
at
up
this
because
point. Yeah,
because it's like, oh, every message could kind of be the same. But like seriously, if I had pulled like the last card for this one, or the like, it's
No, it'd be totally different.
okay. First card I pulled, your past. We've got Frigga, the fairy of readiness, bounty, and plenty. And diving deep into her message.
Her, because that looks like a they them.
I mean, it could be a they them. Isn't
Doesn't
Frigga
it?
like a Norse goddess?
Yeah.
I mean, We got some Carrot Top vibes going on.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was the Carrot Top.
It was blurry. It was blurry for me when she first drew it. So I was like, all I saw was big hair. Like, what is she talking about? That was a woman. And now I'm like, oh.
Most of these cards do read as female, which is another thing I really identify about this deck. There's only a couple male figures in it. But honestly, no, that's very they, them. So I should just shut my mouth. But anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
So Frigga
kind of here for
shows a past with opportunity, plenty, and abundance. Maybe there was that one you got away that you think of from time to time. And while it's easy to feel regret, what Frigga wants you to remember is that while the good times don't last forever, they do come again. And when they're here, you need to remember that you are a beautiful, wise human with everything she needs to feel confident inside. Know you're enough. So when opportunity does come again, you can act without hesitation. This is your past.
Love.
Coming off of that, coming off hot, just because, again, it's so similar. We've got the fairy Norn. This was something I was very unfamiliar with, so I had to do my research on him. You've got like a seated, very like pensive-looking fairy, just like sitting, looking at a picture of a unicorn. But what she represents is, and I wrote it down here, get your house in order. No. It's time for some soul searching. Ask yourself the hard questions. What do you want from your romantic partner? How will it benefit you and those around you? What do you bring to the table? Organize the chaos.
Wow.
This is a preparation card, and this is where you're at right now. You need to get ready because good things are coming.
Nice.
And you know how I know good things are coming?
Nutty.
Your future card, the Sorceress.
Ooh.
This is a card of action,
power,
and will.
I'm obsessed with her.
She is a card of action, confidence, power. Girl, you got this. Now go get it. This is just one more cosmic reminder that you are enough. You have everything you need. You've done the work, and anyone would be lucky to be with you. You just have to go and get it. Once you're organized, once you've got everything in order, girl, you're set.
And it's not going to take long to get organized, I don't think. Just as long as you know what it is that needs organizing, which, and here's the thing,
right?
Like if I were to have to self-reflect in this way and be like, well, what do I need to like fix up before a man comes over?
A man?
You know what the problem areas are.
Not a man.
As we're saying this, like, you need to get this in order, Sasha's sitting there going like, I know what they're talking about.
She knows.
Right.
Lauren.
Well.
Oh no.
I'm sick of our listeners who are listening to this and calling us fakers. I'm already sick of you, and this hasn't even been released yet, because leave us alone. I promise it's real. Has anyone heard me shuffling a deck on the microphone or doing anything?
So excited.
You can't make this up. I drew the Lovers.
Wow.
And it is the Bridges of Madison County.
Madison County?
Madison.
Where's that?
The Bridges of Madison County. Francesca Johnson was the name of her character, which I love that movie so much. Did I say Madison?
Yeah, you did.
You did say Madison. I was waiting to address that.
It was cute.
Did she say Madison?
Madison is what I meant. I don't know why I said Madison. The Bridges of Madison County.
We're just so excited.
The Lovers. I know. Like, I can't even say words. I'm so excited about it. So, and it was upright.
Hell yeah.
But honestly, the reversal and the upright of this one, I feel like, are both a pretty good outlook. It's just a good card. And even though it's the Lovers, you don't even just pull it for love. You know, it can have meaning in whatever you're asking about it, but it is a great card for love and relationships. And I just couldn't believe. I thought I was coming on this episode and going to like blow Laura and Ashley's minds. Like, guess what I drew for Sasha on a question about love. But lo and behold, you guys both had phenomenal answers as well. And it's so crazy.
But that in turn blows our minds that we all pulled such phenomenal questions of love for Sasha.
Yes. The Lovers card in upright meaning, like in basic terms, is harmony, confidence, and strength. which can mean about the individual themselves, that you are at a place in your life where you are strong, you are confident. When this future partner comes in contact with you, there's not going to be a shy, timid moment, because you are where you need to be, and this person is going to meet you exactly where you're at. But it can also mean confidence and strength in a couple. So, once the relationship forms, this is going to be a strong, solid relationship with whoever this soulmate is, this person that you are going to happen upon, which sounds like it's pretty soon. And there's even a chance you know them already based on my research on the Lover's card, which was also true for Elise earlier, that it's either like very soon or you already know them. But this is going to be a bond that is beyond the physical realm, which is another thing I love about this card. It's like you are connected on every single level. Your souls are entwined. Some people call this the twin flame card. So like truly it is like your person. I know some people don't believe in soulmates and relationships are work, and I think that's why people don't believe in soulmates. It's like you could make a relationship work with somebody who's not, your perfect twin flame. Like it still is love and it's still important, and you can make a relationship with whoever. But I do think when it comes to this card, like this is going to be a person who just gets you in every way, sees you for who you are, and is all about it. Like there is no question, there's no compromise. It's just like, here we are. And you are at a place of knowing exactly what you want and exactly who you are in life. And that's why you are ready for this card and for this reading, because you are ready for this person and they are ready for you, because you have put in the work and you are phenomenal on your own. And the Lover's card, we've kind of all been saying this tonight, like you are enough just as you are. But the Lover's card says that like you're not about to meet someone that you have to take care of. This isn't about like, oh, are they cute? Are you attracted to them? Are they what? Like this person is just going to complement your already amazing life. They are not like, you will depend on them for nothing other than like their companionship and hyping up of you and supporting of you. And you will do the same back to them, which I love, because I do think sometimes people can be in codependent relationships, and it's like, I'm not complete until
Totally.
I have this like missing puzzle piece. But no. You are both complete beings, this twin flame of yours, and you're just going to make each other's lives more fun and enrich each other.
All I'm saying is we better be invited to the wedding.
Seriously.
For real.
Just, if this happens within the next year, know it started here. Like, and it better be an open bar.
This is what I'm imagining.
For real. Yeah.
Bridges of Madison County.
What I was getting from all of our readings combined, potentially, especially since you said like it might be someone you already like even know, maybe even someone that like is already in your life. And it could be possible that like maybe you have tried before and it didn't work out, but
and timing was off. I was thinking that too.
Timing was off.
It's all about timing. You needed to work on yourself, or they needed to work on them, or both. There was growth. Maybe you met when you were younger and there's like a reconnection that's coming. It's like, wait, you've always gotten me, but we weren't ready.
Yeah, the fact that figure card came in the past, it kind of sounded like something was already there once before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very cool.
Might need to rekindle an old flame once you have your house in order. And you know
gotta
what we're
work on
talking
you,
about.
Sasha.
Thank you listeners so much that sent in your personal questions. It was so cool. It was such an honor to do a reading for you. That's the first like, I've done readings for friends. I've done readings for myself, obviously, but that was the first time I actually got to like sit down and like do readings for like essentially strangers. And it was really wonderful. And I hope, please keep in contact with us. Maybe reach out to us and tell us like, were we on track? Like, was it accurate? Do you feel like you got something from it? And as with everything, like if it resonates with you, take it, use it. If it doesn't, ignore it.
Be like, you were actually so far off, but I love you anyway. That's the message we want to receive. Put it lightly.
we can only work with what we've got. So like, without having you in the room with us, like we're kind of just jumping off our first base instinct. So while we might be going slightly, like swinging a little too far to the left or a little too far to the right, you might be able to pick up on things where it's just like, well, it's not catastrophe, but I do see what they're talking about. Or no, it's not like, you know, the best day that's going to happen, but I see what they're talking about, because it's all about the influence you have on it too. So
if you want to dive deeper, which we don't, like, they don't have to, you guys can, everyone who wrote in can just say like, and that was that, and that's it. But if we, you know, if there's details that you think would be important to the readings that we all did, like follow up with us and we can kind of continue down this path.
Yeah.
Well, and like Ashley, I've never done readings, or I just started this year doing readings for other people. Outside of friends and family. And I really want to say it is a huge honor, and I feel very humbled that like people are coming to you for advice almost. And you know, there is this kind of like, I take it very seriously. You don't want to let anybody down, and you don't want to give anybody bad advice. And you are initially asking chance to give you advice to give to this person, but it amazes me, and it's what makes me believe in this stuff is you get so many readings that are just more than mere coincidence. And I really hope that in some small way it helps you guys and helps you listeners. And
me too. And send in more questions. We can do this shit for you anytime you like want.
I was like, can we do this all the time? Because also, as I always say when Laura is on the show, I'm like, I'm an amateur witch. This is practice. And that's another reason that I did a 1 card draw instead of 3, because it's like I'm still in beginner stages, but like this was huge for me, especially in such a good practice. So like, thank you for trusting us with this. Thank you for letting us do the reading, and please, more people sending questions. I want to do this all the time. It's so fun.
I was going to say, maybe in the future, we each pull 1 card, past, present, future, and see how that lines up.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm here for that. I like that a lot.
Okay, well, before we leave, I just want to say thank you so much, Laura, for joining us as usual when you're on the show in some of our favorite episodes. So
this is always a freaking blast. I love being with you guys. So what better way to spend a Tuesday night?
Yeah, and listeners, obviously, again, like if you ever want Laura to come on and talk about something specific, you know our fucking email, so email us. But we are going to get out of here. We've taken up enough of your time. We love you so much. We will see you in a couple weeks. And as always, keep it weird.